Good morning, guys, and welcome on in to another episode of Picks on Net NHL Picks and Stats. I'm your host, Terry Edelman at TE Picks over on X, ready to break down the Sunday slate. 5 games to go over today, which I will, of course, get to here in a moment. But first, we will take a look back at Friday and Saturday, and we'll start there. Looking back at Friday first, the New York Rangers and the Florida Panthers. The over magic continues between these two teams. 22 of the last 23 meetings, I believe, have gone over 5.5 now between these two teams. So, yeah, we needed a little bit of extra magic to get there at the end of the game, but these two teams just equal overs. So, if you are giving me a 5.5 between these two teams, outdoor crappy Florida ice or not, I'm taking them. And we cash there, over 5.5. Adam Fox, unfortunately, did not get an assist. The Rangers completely outplayed the Panthers, but Fox unable to get an assist. And then my first 2-unit play of 2026 was a nice winner on the Wild, which I got minus 122. The Wild have absolutely dominated Anaheim for years now. The Ducks can't stop a puck to save their life. There was just incredible value with the Wild here. Even if he got minus 130, regardless, a nice 2-unit big play winner for me there in this game. Then we go over to Saturday's slate. And unfortunately, yesterday's slate, the last few Saturdays have been good, but yesterday's slate went right back to how Saturdays have been going this season, just with nothing going right. Now, of course, some stuff did go right, but a lot of weird things happened. So Pittsburgh, Detroit, Crosby assist I got for plus 100, a nice winner there. He just continues to assist, especially against the Detroit Red Wings. Sabres fans, mute the show, close your ears, whatever you got to do. But this was a pathetic loss. Now, I know the Sabres have won 10 in a row. They were eventually going to lose a game, but to come out and play the way they did in this game, this is the same old Sabres team. Yeah, they just won 10 games in a row, but you had an opportunity to show that this was a different team by breaking that franchise record, facing the Columbus Blue Jackets of all teams. If Buffalo came out and played as they had during this win streak, they would have won this game, but they didn't. They were disinterested. Columbus wanted this win more. Just a pathetic loss by this Buffalo Sabres team. And yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that. But they should have played better in that game. Dylan Guenther, anytime goal. And I know they'd won 10 in a row, whoop-de-doo. That was a really important win to really show that the franchise has changed. So now they can prove me wrong and go on another 10-game win streak after this, but we'll have to see that. Guenther, anytime goal, unfortunately a loser here. Utah just did not play well against the Devils here in this game. My premium play in the over cashed here pretty easily. Tampa Bay just took it to the Sharks. Chernyshov, unfortunately, did not get a point. Not the best game for him overall. This one hurts because, unfortunately, like I said, it was a losing day yesterday. And I really, after how this slate had started, I was zero in on this bet as the bet that was going to save the night and get us back to somewhat near profitable. But unfortunately, Alexei Protas did not play in this game. So not a loss, a push, but it still hurts because I really felt like he was going to continue his goal streak here in this game. So unfortunately, that lost. It was on the over 6 as well, which unfortunately lost. Over 6, I ended up pulling the trigger on the 6.5, as I said I would on the show, just because, like I said, I like to, for the most part, take bets that everyone can get for the most part, especially when I am releasing them to clients. I don't want to take a 6 that's only available at one book that a lot of people don't have. So went with the over 6.5, and it didn't matter. The Hurricanes got off to a 3-1 lead. Colorado not looking their best and not really having success offensively. But then the third period starts. Colorado says, okay, we can start playing now. Well, not that they weren't playing before, but we can put our foot on the gas pedal and score 2 quick goals. And before you know it, game finishes 5-3. The Avalanche, who were losing, ended up winning on the puck line, covering the over, and a nice, easy winner there. And this one hurts because, unfortunately, the day was rough, and the Wild battling back against the Kings, battling back, going to a shootout and lost. So, unfortunately, yesterday was bad. Down 5 units yesterday, and pretty much definitely gave back what I won on Friday and a little bit more. So, it's going to happen. Frustrating day yesterday, but yesterday's over. We've recapped it. We've gone over it. And now we can move on to the Sunday slate today. Let's go back to people in the chat here. Morning, Terry. First period puck line Penguins and over 1.5 plus 110. All right. I like it. Raquel, 3 shots on goal plus 105. All right. We'll take a look at that game shortly. Kuch goal over 6.5, Tampa money line, free money. Yeah, Kucherov goal. I should have been on that. And there were so many plays yesterday that, of course, I cut my card down. And, of course, a lot of the plays that I left off cashed. And that's just how it goes, unfortunately. So, great winner there, Lions Blood. Back to doing bad on Saturdays, Terry. Yesterday, yeah, unfortunately. I don't know. I can't explain it right now. The last few Saturdays were fine, but yesterday just back to, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Sup, Terry, no hockey today, all NFL? Oof. I don't have one NFL play for today. This is week 18. A lot of these teams are ready for the season to be over, and a lot of teams that things matter to are playing some bum-ass teams, and they could very well be pulling their players in the third, fourth quarter. So I'm not messing around with player props in the NFL today. There's no reason to, with the fact that guys can be rested and then other guys just don't care. So all hockey today, no NFL. You got that a little bit wrong, Tim. Turn it around, and you'll be right. Good morning, Terry. Hey, Brian, how's it going? Hope all is well. But we're going to get started on today's slate. And if a lot of people are paying attention to the NFL, that is probably one of the cases why we have some good spots here and some good lines, in my opinion, for today's show. But waiting on some goaltenders because if some goalie matchups go the way I think they're going to go here, we could have some very good games to bet on. But we'll start here with this one, the Montreal Canadiens and the Dallas Stars. Montreal plus 165, Road Dogs, Dallas minus 200, and a total of 6.5 here in our first game. And no goalies yet for any game, unfortunately. However, it's likely going to be Jake Ottinger here because unfortunately, DeSmith, I was blanking on his name for a second. Unfortunately, DeSmith had to do a personal leave of absence. I don't believe it's going to be a long one, but won't be able to play in this game due to personal reasons. So it should definitely be Jake Ottinger here in net for this one. How are these two teams doing recently? Well, Montreal's been a great team on the road all season long. Now, did not necessarily play the best yesterday at all and was unable to score at all against Jordan Binnington. everyone's going to have dud games. And of course, the Canadians on a long road trip, they've been playing really well, but that was a bad game yesterday. Facing Jordan Binnington, facing the Blues on a back-to-back, and not be able to score at all. So Montreal off a bad game. Well, the Dallas Stars, they're off a few bad games. Dallas has lost 4 games in a row, and now have moved to third place in the Central. The Wild passed the Stars with that shootout loss yesterday. So Dallas now trying to get back on track, winning this game, but also retake second place in the Central and in the NHL. Dallas, 4-3 overtime loss to Detroit, 4-3 shootout loss to Chicago. Few days off, lost 4-1 to Buffalo. Had another day off, played the next day on a back-to-back, and lost 4-3 to Chicago again. So the Stars are not playing well right now. Now they're rested. They've had a few days off. Not that that's really helped them during this losing streak. And Montreal, obviously playing yesterday, second night of a back-to-back, and I believe this is the final game of their long road trip. So that's how the teams are doing recently. How have things gone in the past? Well, the road team has won 11 of the last 13 games between these two teams. For whatever reason, home ice is not an advantage when these two teams face each other. 3 of the last 4 going under 5.5. I want no part of the under. Montreal had been an over machine until their last night against the Blues. Of course, I was on the over. And then the Stars have been an over machine as well. Going over 6.5 and 3 of their last 4. All three games 4-3 losses. When I look at this game from a side perspective, the value is all on Montreal here at plus 165. But Dallas is going to get it together eventually. They're not going to lose 20 games in a row. They've already lost 4. But I'm not going to fade past history, take the Stars on the puck line, just saying, well, they have to win eventually. I'm not going to do that, obviously. And then I don't want to take Montreal here in this spot either. So when it comes to the side pass, and then when it comes to a total here, I don't really want to get to the total either. Lean with the over, but not enough to pull the trigger on it here in this game. Looking at some player props here in this one, guys, on some streaks right now. Let's see here. Point props. Demidov, 4 of his last 5, minus 130. Lane Hudson, minus 135 for a point. 4 of his last 5 games. Slavkovsky, 3 of his last 5, plus 100. Mikko Rantanen, over 1.5 points, plus 128. 3 of his last 5 games. Goal streaks, not a whole lot here. Guys in 3 of 5, but assist streaks, power play point streaks, none. Assist streaks, Demidov, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 140. Lane Hudson assist is at a really good price, minus 115. He's done that 4 of his last 5 games. Jason Robertson assist, back-to-back games, plus 100. Here in this game, ultimately, no play for me here in this one. I just can't get to anything here in this game, so we'll pass the first game of the day. Week 18 NFL bets is like betting the second week of preseason games. Yeah, I can agree with that. Now, I was on the 49ers yesterday, which I would love to forget that game. And my whole thoughts, I was ready to pull the trigger on the 49ers to win the Super Bowl. But after yesterday's game, I'm pushing the brakes on that for now. But yeah, that was a game where it's a little bit of a different situation because obviously both teams really had something to play for, but didn't go so well. Yeah, I have no interest in today's NFL. You guys know I love player props, but I'm not betting a player like Drake May to go over his passing yards only for him to be pulled in the third quarter. Now, he did get pulled in the third quarter last week, still cashed, but yeah, we're not going there. Olympian Binnington. Yeah. What a horrible game by the Habs. Come on now. Can't even score a goal against Binnington. Oh, is that confirmed now? Is it? Is that confirmed? No, it's not confirmed on the site that I use. Yes, on the second night of a back-to-back, so it should be Soderblom, but not confirmed yet. Not confirmed. The only team better than Dallas is Colorado. Yeah, Colorado is definitely better, but I don't know. I think the Wild and the Stars are pretty competitive, in my thoughts here. But Ritzkovian plus 600 anytime goal. Perfect. Thank you, Stars fan. Obviously, that's not how his name is pronounced, that's not how his name is spelled, but that's how it's pronounced. Thank you. Take Seattle. They will win it all. We'll see. I'm not a Darnold fan. No, he's kind of proven me wrong, but we'll see. In terms of record, the Wild are better than the Stars. If you just look at the standings, but yeah, I see what you're saying. But on to our next game, and my favorite game of the day. The Pittsburgh Penguins plus 110, road dogs, Columbus minus 130, home favorites, and a total of 6.5 here in this one. How are these two teams doing recently? Well, this Pittsburgh Penguins team is playing very, very well right now. 19, 12, and 9 in the season, 10, 6, and 4 on the road. And they've won 4 games in a row. 7-3 against Chicago, 5-1 against Carolina, and then back-to-back wins against Detroit. 4-3 in overtime, and then 4-1 yesterday. Columbus has won 4 of their last 5 games as well. 3-1 against LA, 4-2 against the Islanders, 4-1 against Ottawa, 5-1 against Buffalo, and then a 3-2 loss against the Devils, sandwiched in there. Now these two teams play this game here. Both teams on the second night of a back-to-back here. So both teams playing again. And we should be seeing Elvis Merzlikins in net. We can't play Jack Reeves every single game, but Jack Reeves did start on the second night of the last back-to-back, a 4-1 win against the Ottawa Senators. So are we going to see Elvis Merzlikins? Everyone pray. Pray that it's Elvis Merzlikins, because that's obviously who I want in net here. I don't want Jack Reeves here in this game. I want Elvis Merzlikins. Looking at previous games between the two teams, Columbus 4-1-1 in the last 6. 8 of the last 9 games between these two teams has gone over 6.5, and 4 of the last 6 have gone to overtime. Of course, I lean with the over 6.5, especially if Merzlikins is confirmed. I would be pulling the trigger on that. Or I would also look at Penguins team total over, especially with them being the dog here. Should be able to get a really decent price on the 3.5. The Penguins' last 4 games, 7 against Chicago, 5 against Carolina, and back-to-back games with 4 goals against Detroit. If Merzlikins is in net, there's no reason Pittsburgh shouldn't score 4 here in this game. So lean with the over, lean with Penguins team total over. Want to see Merzlikins in net, but did pull the trigger on Sidney Crosby over half an assist. Not to sound like a broken record, but Crosby now has an assist in 5 of his last 6 games, so he's definitely heating up assist-wise and has had a lot of success against Detroit, but also against Columbus. He has an assist in 8 of his last 11 games against the Blue Jackets. Minus 113, pretty decent odds here for Crosby to get an assist and to keep on rolling here in this game. But no, I'm not done. If there's a play of all my plays in today's slate that I want to win, it's this one. Give me Igor Chinnikov, anytime goal, plus 480. Still in his Columbus jersey, ignore that. Obviously does play for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and that should say it all right there. Chinnikov requested a trade in the offseason. Eventually, it happened here. A few games ago, he's played 2 games with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he scored his first goal with Pittsburgh in their last game. Now he's heading back to Columbus to face his former team, the team he requested a trade from. And it's in Columbus here, and we could get Elvis Merzlikins in net. Give me Chinnikov anytime goal. I think this is at almost plus 500. I think this is a great spot for him. I think he's going to be extremely motivated in this game. So we'll take him here. Plus 480 to score in this game. But we will see what is going on for players on streaks here in this game. Of course, Chinnikov is not on a streak, 1 game goal, but it's the situation here. Why I'm pulling the trigger on him in this one. Werenski over 3.5 shots on goal, plus 108, 4 of his last 5 games. Here, Mantha over 1.5 shots on goal, minus 110. He's done that in 4 of his last 5 games. Point props, Marchment, 4 of his last 5 games, minus 123. Anthony Mantha, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 110. Boone Jenner, 3 games in a row with a point, 4 of his last 5, plus 110. Cole Sillinger, 4 games in a row with a point, plus 132. Zach Werenski, 4 games in a row over 1.5 points, plus 170. Denton Matejchuk has a point in 4 of his last 5 games, plus 135. And Chris Letang has a point in 4 of his last 5 games, plus 151. A lot of guys on point streaks here in this game. So if that continues, really good news for the over here in this game. Goal streaks, a little bit more, a lot of guys on 1 game goal streak. So the goal scoring is kind of spread out here. But Marchenko, Brian Rust, Anthony Mantha, and Zach Werenski have all scored in 3 of their last 5 games. Not really a whole lot of power play point streaks. Assist streaks, Crosby, obviously, 4 of his last 5, 6 of his last 10. Werenski, there's no value with his assist prop. Boone Jenner, back-to-back games with an assist, plus 215 here in this game. Go to the chat here and see. Matejchuk point, plus 115. Please and thank you. I can't talk you off it, that's for sure. I pumped the brakes at 2 props here in this game, but as you just heard me say, there's quite a few others you could look at here. So yeah, I don't blame you, Hal. Give us Chin, give us Elvis, please. Soderblom was confirmed yesterday. Goalie Post Twitter feed is far better than Daily Faceoff for goalie confirmation. I suppose. I think I had issues with Goalie Post before. Where they've said guys are confirmed when they're not. So, to each his own. He should definitely be in net, but yeah. Actually, I gave you Seattle Seahawks under your prior videos. They won 13-3 like 2014. Okay, but the 49ers had won 7 of 8 against the Seahawks, so it is what it is. Hi, Terry. I'm out hiking in the snow. Wow. And you're still watching the show. That's commitment, guys. That's commitment. Russ, first period goal, plus 800. It's been cashing. Sounds good because likely Crosby assist and Golfing Stars fan is right there. Parlaying the 2 together. Russ goal, Crosby assist, plus 270. I like it. Chinnikov plus 7,000 for 2 goals. Why not a sprinkle? Yeah, why not? That would be a hell of a cash. That would be amazing, Al. I really wish you luck. Because if he's scoring 2, then that means I'm going to be a happy guy just because he scored 1. Tommy Novak assist plus 325. 3 assists in 2 games versus the Jackets this season. 8 points in 7 games versus Columbus. Anytime goal plus 400 is worthy. All right. Very nice. Great eye there, JD. Going to bet that Novak assist now. Perfect. yeah, and that's why one of the great things about the show is that it's not just all about me and what I think. We've got some great cappers in the chat that give out some great stats as well. So make sure to leave your comments in the video even after, and check the comments and see what people are liking on today's slate. But we will move on along to our next game, the Colorado Avalanche and the Florida Panthers. Here in this one, Colorado minus 125, road favorites. The Panthers plus 105 home dogs, and a total of 6 here in this one. And this game is very interesting. Colorado on the second night of a back-to-back here. It should be Trent Miner in net with Wedgwood starting yesterday. Blackwood is on IR. Trent Miner 0-2. So hasn't won a game yet. 2.11 goals against average, 909 save percentage. Pretty decent numbers overall, but playing for Colorado, that's what you'll get most likely. Look at the other 2 goalies that would not have those numbers if they were on a different team. Bobrovsky, 17-10-1 in the season, 2.84 goals against average, 884 save percentage. How are these 2 teams doing recently? Well, Colorado, even in a game where it looks like maybe they might lose, they put the foot on the gas pedal in the third period and come back and end up covering the puck line in. Florida, if they're up, you really got to be up against this Avalanche team in order to have a safe lead. Really no lead against this team is safe. But Colorado 31-2-7 in the season, 14-2-5 on the road. They continue to score 5 goals a game. They've scored at least 5 goals in 5 of their last 6 games. The Panthers, coming off back-to-back losses, 3-2 overtime loss to Montreal, then a 5-1 loss in the Winter Classic, and now playing here in this game. Facing the Avalanche's third goalie, I think this is a spot for Florida, but I'm not betting them. I'm not betting against this Avalanche team. I'm just not. Not a great spot for Colorado. Obviously, on the second night of a back-to-back, just had to have that big comeback against the Hurricanes. This Panthers team is not going to be happy with how the Winter Classic went, losing 5-1. I think we get Florida's best game here. I think Colorado, kind of like yesterday, might kind of start a little bit slow overall, but would not shock me to see them come back in the third period. So if Colorado is losing heading into the third period, I would look to bet Florida because like we saw yesterday, this Avs team is not dead until the final buzzer goes. So I would look that way. And I would also probably look at the over here, over 6 in this one, with the fact that the Avalanche are scoring 5 goals a game. And you're getting a 6. I think there's good odds there. And if you wanted to go with the Avalanche pre-game at minus 125, I do think that they find a way to win this game, as they do on most nights. Looking at previous games between these 2 teams, Colorado's won 3 in a row, and 5 of the last 7 has gone over 7.5. So kind of like yesterday's game against the Hurricanes, we tend to get very high scoring games between these 2 teams. Ross Colton over 1.5 shots on goal, 4 games in a row, minus 103. Valery Nichushkin over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 110. Back-to-back games. Point props, Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, Brad Marchand, all on really long point streaks. Bennett, 8 games. Reinhart, 7 games. Brad Marchand, 10 games. So if you're looking for point parlays, I would look at those guys for the Panthers. And then a lot of guys on 4-game point streaks here, some with value. Landeskog, 4 games in a row with a point, minus 114 on that top line. I was very close to pulling the trigger on Landeskog point. I'm seeing it mostly at minus 120. Ultimately stayed off, but great value there with him on the top line, obviously with McKinnon and Natchez. Lehkonen has a point 4 games in a row, minus 125. Nathan McKinnon over 1.5 points, 4 games in a row, minus 120. And then Brock Nelson, minus 155, no value there. Eetu Luostarinen, 4 of his last 5 games with a point, plus 130 here in this one. Goal streaks, McKinnon, 4 games in a row. Plus 100 to score here in this game, 8 of his last 10 with a goal. Not a bad look, just not great value. Another play I almost pulled the trigger on, Sam Reinhart, anytime goal. 3 games in a row with a goal for Reinhart, plus 160. I think this is a good spot for him. And then Brock Nelson has scored in 3 games in a row, plus 240. Power play point streaks. Brad Marchand has a power play point in 6 games in a row, plus 210. Reinhart, 4 of his last 5 with a power play point, plus 185. And then Sam Bennett, Nathan McKinnon, Brock Nelson, and Cale Makar all have a power play point in back-to-back games for their respective teams. And then assist streak, Sam Bennett, 4 games in a row with an assist, plus 145. Arturi Lehkonen, 3 games in a row with an assist, plus 191 here in this one. Go to the chat. Let's see what people are thinking for this one. Appreciate it. Sharing knowledge is what makes this betting community so good. Exactly. I agree. Big revenge game for the Panthers, who got stomped 6-2 in Colorado when Florida was on the second half of a back-to-back against Colorado. Yeah, I could see that. But just beating this Avs team is just not easy. But getting them on the second night of a back-to-back after a big comeback win and their third goalie in net, maybe if there is a time for Colorado to lose, maybe it is this game here. But on to our next one, the Carolina Hurricanes, minus 120 favorites. New Jersey, plus 100 home dogs, and a total of 6 here in this one. Looking at how these two teams are doing recently, this Hurricanes team was looking good yesterday. Looked like they were going to snap their 2-game losing streak, but ended up losing by multiple goals like they have in their prior 2 games, losing 5-3. So the last 3 games for the Hurricanes, 5-1 loss to Pittsburgh, 7-5 loss to Montreal, and a 5-3 loss to Colorado. New Jersey, they've won back-to-back games 3-2 and 4-1 against Columbus and Utah. This game is extremely tough, in my opinion. Looking at previous games between these two teams, Carolina 13-3 in the last 16 games, including playoffs. 3 games in a row over 6.5, and then regular season games between these two teams, 2 overs and 6 pushes of a total of 6. So usually high-scoring games between these two teams, especially in the regular season. And I couldn't take an under the way this Hurricanes team is playing right now. But the Devils are more of an under team to me. This Canes team more of an over team. Previous history says over. Previous history says Carolina. But I lean with the Devils here in this spot. But kind of like Dallas, Carolina's now lost 3 in a row, 3 ugly losses. They will end this losing streak eventually. I'm just not sure if it's going to be here. Looking at player props here, guys on streaks here in this one. Jesper Bratt over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 146, 4 games in a row. Dougie Hamilton over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 126, 4 games in a row. Point streaks with value, not a whole lot. Goal streaks, Andrei Svechnikov, Sebastian Aho, and Nikolai Ehlers. All 3 on the top line for Carolina, and all 3 have scored in back-to-back games. Plus 225 for Svechnikov, plus 200 for Aho, plus 280 for Nikolai Ehlers. So maybe if you're looking for goal scoring props, that top line for the Hurricanes. Nico Hischier has scored in back-to-back games for New Jersey as well. Power play point streaks, Nico Hischier, back-to-back games. Nikolai Ehlers, back-to-back games. And Jack Hughes, back-to-back games with the power play point. Assist streak, Sebastian Aho, 4 of his last 5 with an assist, plus 123. The only game he didn't get an assist, the game I bet him for an assist. So lean that way, but going to stay off. Going to stay off here in this one. Not a high volume day for me on this slate. But potentially, depending on some goalies, I might be looking at some more plays. I like the over in Panthers Avs with backup goalies. Yeah, I agree. Were you on Sports Memo before they switched over to picks and parlays? No, I was never on Sports Memo. Have not yet, anyways. But they didn't switch over. Separate companies, but in the same family now. So we'll go to the next chat here. Canes off an emotional game. Devils snap. Devils have won back-to-back games. So, yeah, but I see what you're saying. Flat spot for Carolina. I can see that. A decent draw spot. I can see that as well. Good. A Bussy going to get blasted. Jack Hughes to finally get rolling. Hughes goal, Brad assist, plus 265. Yeah, Bussy kind of came down to earth. But unfortunately for me, so was Jesper Wallstedt. So these two younger goalies really having a lot of success. Kind of coming back a little bit down to earth, unfortunately, here. But final game of the night. And apparently Soderblom is confirmed, but I would expect him to start. Most of the time, you do get the backup goalie on the second night of a back-to-back. One of the few cases recently was Columbus, so keep an eye on Dean Evison here, but I do think we'll get Merzlikins today. Vegas, minus 260 road favorites. The Hawks, plus 210 home dogs, and a total of 6. Vegas, 7-1-2 in the last 10 meetings between these two teams, and 6 of the last 7 have gone over 6.5 between these two teams. Very, very high-scoring games between these two teams. Recently for Vegas, 4 losses in a row. So Vegas is struggling, like some other teams. 6-5 shootout loss to Colorado, 5-2 loss to Minnesota, 4-2 loss to Nashville, and then a 4-3 loss to the St. Louis Blues. Blackhawks, 3-1-1 in their last 5. So despite no Connor Bedard, the Blackhawks starting to win games, and they beat Dallas twice and Washington during this win streak. Shootout loss to the Islanders, and then they got blasted by Pittsburgh 7-3. So one bad game and 4 other pretty good games for the Blackhawks recently. The value is definitely with Chicago here, plus 210. Odds-wise, with how they've been playing the last few games, and with how this Vegas team has been playing. But I could see this as a get-right spot for the Vegas Golden Knights. Obviously, against a team they've had a lot of success against. Vegas is losing a lot of games recently. One of their wins was a 7-2 win against San Jose, a team that they've owned. So I could see Vegas playing well here in this game, especially facing Soderblom, who has given up at least 3 goals in 7 straight starts. He's given up at least 3 goals in 7 straight games. He's given up at least 3 goals. He's averaging 5 goals against during those 7 games. So Vegas team total over, I think, is a great look here in this game against Soderblom. Looking at some player props here in this one. Point streaks, Bertuzzi, 4 of his last 5 games, minus 112. Ilya Mikheyev, back-to-back games with a point, plus 182. Teuvo Teravainen, 3 games in a row with a point, plus 140. And then that's basically it. Goal streaks. Mark Stone, 3 games in a row with a goal plus 212. Much more of an assist guy, and that's why I haven't really pulled the trigger on the goal, because he usually is an assist guy. So kind of waiting for him to go back to his normal way of scoring, assist-wise. Teuvo Teravainen has scored in 3 games in a row, plus 430. And then assists, not a whole lot. Consistency when it comes to assists by any player currently right now in this game. Let's go to the chat. Tough spot for the Canes. 3 games in 4 days, 6-9, and the Canes have given up at least 4 and 15 of their 17 losses. Yeah, it's been rough for them. It's been rough. Devils being the Dogs juicy, still modeling today's card. A line stuck out to me. All right, awesome. Terry Edelbags. Not yesterday, sadly, Irish King, but yeah, it's been a good start to 2026, so I'm happy. Colorado's 4-2 in the second half of back-to-back. 5 of those 6 games decided by 1 goal. 3 have gone to overtime. Okay. One of those games was with Minor in goal, a 4-3 loss to New Jersey. All right. Florida money line plus Reinhart, no sweat W. Maybe the Reinhart, but I don't know. Panthers win is going to be a no sweat against the Avalanche, but we'll see. We'll see. My theory was that the Panthers barely showed up in the Winter Classic. I can agree with that. To look ahead into this game and to show off Team USA's coach, thinking we get some big effort against the Avs. They should, definitely, with how they played. They should really bring some good effort today. Nice guy Terry is watching from Greece. Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Hope all is well. But that's today's card. 2 free plays here on the show, and I've got 2 premium plays over on picksandparlays.net. Link is in the description below. And going to be looking at a couple others here, waiting for information. So thank you for watching. Best of luck today. Hit the like and subscribe button on your way out if you haven't already. And I believe Monday's slate is okay. 5 games again. Okay, so a smaller slate, but that's okay. Wild versus Kings, round 2. Look for the Wild to bounce back tomorrow. But thank you guys for watching. Best of luck tonight and today. Sorry.